is up, everybody?
Welcome back to Mile Higher Podcast, episode 55. Today we're talking about the disappearance of the Yuba County Five, which is America's Dyatlov Pass incident, which is an incident that happened in Russia. It's super, super weird. And we've done a whole episode on it, so we'll link it below. But this is America's version, kind of. It's very, very strange.
It's eerily similar.
Very eerily. Yes, that's a good
It is. It's and as you'll find when we start going through it, you're going to be like, whoa, this sounds so much like Dyatlov Pass. It's very weird.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of people don't even know about this story because it happened, years ago, but it's still unsolved today. We still do not know what happened to these five young men that essentially disappeared in a national forest in California, never to be seen again until much, much later. And just all of the findings with it and all of the weird things that sort of come out of it will kind of leave you scratching your head.
Yeah,
because we have no idea what happened. But that is what we were talking about today. But let's go ahead and jump right into this week's news stories. First things first, we wanted to talk about Jussie Smollett, who, if
hang on. Can we first talk about his name? Is it Jussie or Jesse?
Did I say Jesse? I thought I said Jussie. It's Jussie.
Jussie. Okay, I hear people on TV all the time say Jesse. So
Well, it's easy
Jussie
to mess up.
Smollett.
I've never seen anybody named Jussie.
No, me either.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
But for those of you that may not have heard of it, which I'm sure there's probably a few of you that haven't, especially other countries maybe, but basically he is a famous actor on the show Empire.
He's like low-key famous. He's kind of like and he's not even like the star of Empire by any means. I haven't even seen Empire, but from what I understand, he's just like kind of I don't know.
I mean, he's low-key
famous. He's part of the
yeah.
show. Yeah, low-key famous.
He has 1 million followers on Twitter, so that's somewhat famous.
Somewhat famous. But it's not like he was the star or anything or anyone that he's not a household name by any means.
No, not at all. Not at all. But basically, he is a black and openly gay individual who's been wrapped up in this month-long sort of case with basically he says he was a victim of a brutal hate crime in late January, but after a daily array of twists and turns, he became a suspect and was charged with a felony for allegedly filing a false police report. And a judge has set a bond and ordered the actor to surrender his passport. So what's interesting about this is at first we were all led to believe that he was, brutally attacked by these two individuals.
Yep. And like tons of celebrities really came forward with their support. One in particular, a big one, was Cardi B. She really talked about it. Obviously very angry that there was a hate crime against someone who is part of the black community and the LGBT community. Right. So people really came to his defense and it became, it was trending and everything. But there were a lot of people that were questioning it from the beginning. One of the reasons being that it was done outside.
Yeah.
And it was fucking freezing that
yeah.
day. Like polar vortex.
Yeah.
And why would he have been just out? It's a strange place for that. So people were kind of weirded out in the beginning just from stuff like that, little things.
Yeah, so
but this shit unraveled.
Yeah, as the police started, of course he reported it to the police and stuff, and as they started to investigate it, they came to the conclusion that the two individuals that essentially attacked him, said a bunch of racial and homophobic slurs at him were also two black individuals.
Yeah.
And they were basically able to find out that the individuals that attacked him, he knew.
Yeah.
And
one worked on Empire with him at one point. Whether he was part of the show or just worked on the crew, I'm not sure. And then the other was his personal trainer at one point.
Yeah. Or maybe even current personal trainer. Because once that kind of came out, we all started being like, whoa, dude.
Well, yeah.
What's going on here? You really got attacked by two, MAGA people that were, happened to be black too, happened to be, people that he knew. It just started
and
to
said
look
racist
really real.
things from you, from someone who's the same race as you. All people were raising an eyebrow for sure at that point.
Yeah. And then police kind of came out and said that it looks like he paid them.
Yeah. They found a check.
They found a check, but then the check that he brought forward to disprove that said he paid one of the individuals like $3,500 to basically, or for a nutrition and personal training program. For him,
well, whatever. You
could be totally made up. I mean, he could have just did that to try to cover up.
Yeah. But the dudes are saying, yeah, he paid us to do this. Paid. Can you imagine that? And so the police think that he did this in order to, because he was dissatisfied with his salary.
Yeah, he was unhappy with his current career situation and thought, maybe I should try to get a raise here.
And that's why I was saying he's not like, an A-lister. He's not a really well-known person. He wanted to be a name, though, that is.
Right.
And something like this gets you a lot of press, especially, in today's day and age of social media where tons of people, tons of celebrities are going to come to your defense. Like, he knew this was how this would play out, that everyone would feel bad for Jussie. And maybe he would get a career boost. Maybe he would be worth more to the show if he was more famous, you know?
Which is a bad way to get famous, I think.
Yeah. Well, this shit backfired.
Nobody wants, and that's the thing. Like, the biggest thing about this whole situation is there's actual people that have hate crimes committed against them that don't get famous, that get nobody even talks about them.
And it's going to be harder for them to be taken seriously now.
Right. Which I mean, maybe, but
I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
I think a little bit, because now people can say, well, remember Jussie, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, we don't need that kind of shit. It's like just tainting victims. I think it's so horrible. And then not only that, but the fact that he, wasted the police's time for so long trying to they were trying to investigate and figure out who did this to him and shit. And, there's plenty of other shit the Chicago police could be doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck.
I mean, it's one of the most violent cities in the U.S. and here they are spending
time on
hours.
Crime.
Yeah.
Like, my God, really, dude? So
they actually found surveillance footage showing the brothers that allegedly attacked him buying ski masks, and something else to help stage the attack the day of. So, like, they've got evidence for it. And let's remember, with any sort of crime, when we're talking about people that may have committed a crime, like proven until or innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So obviously he's putting forth a huge defense here. He's going to go and fight this. And I think he still basically said, like, it was legitimate, like it was a legitimate attack. But
he's holding his innocence for sure, which is strange. But the public has totally already convicted him. Like, yeah,
totally. Well, it's like, it's kind of obvious, but at the end of the day, we don't know for sure. So
yeah, that's true.
But it's very unbelievable. Like, I forget what comedians were talking about, but they're like, if you're going to, or maybe it was like Stephen Colbert or something. Colbert. He was like, if you're going to do this, like, why would you go and find, two black brothers to commit this against you? Like, couldn't you find anybody else?
Yeah. Like, to commit a racist crime?
If you're going to try to pull that move, like, yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know, man. Dumb. It's seriously really weird. So, yeah, we just wanted to comment on that because that's been a huge story the past week or two. Mm-hmm. But also a recent news story that hit just a day or two ago is a dead humpback whale was discovered in Brazil's Amazon jungle, and nobody knows how the hell it got there.
This is so baffling.
Okay, first of all, a humpback whale is roughly 26 feet long, which the one that they found, I think, was a juvenile. They think it was like maybe a year old, but it was found 50 feet from the shore of Araruna Beach. So pretty far away from the water, for one. And what's weird about it is it doesn't appear to be any like clear path as to how, you would think if a whale got washed up on shore that there would be like a path of trees being knocked down or something, or brush.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it is I don't think there's anything like that from what I was reading. I could be wrong, but
you can just see, and there's a picture of it. Well, there's like some broken down trees and stuff.
Yeah, there is a few, but
I don't know. I don't think strange.
It's a big ass whale.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to figure out, how it got there or what exactly happened. It's a calf. It's essentially a calf. So it got separated from its mother, most likely, and then died maybe prior to being washed ashore. I don't know exactly how whales get
it could have
washed
been
ashore.
Sick, something like that.
Or it could have got sick and died.
It doesn't look very healthy, but also it's been like laying there, probably decomposing. Do they know how long it's been there? Do they have an estimate of how long it had been there before it was found?
It was pretty recent, I think. Or actually, I don't know. It could have been.
Well, it'd probably look pretty nasty after a while. Because we've seen, remember, like a year or two ago, a whale washed up just on the beach, and it just looked like so nasty because it was really decomposed. So this looks pretty intact and okay.
Yeah.
You know, so if it had died out there, a lot of the times it'll start decomposing in the water because I think I know for a fact human bodies decompose like 4 times faster in water than they do in air.
Which makes sense. Plus there's all of these things swimming around it, eating it probably.
Right.
If it's dead already.
Right. So it probably died on the shore.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of looks like. But I'm no whale expert for sure.
So the people that are researching this, marine experts are saying, we're still not sure how it landed here, but we're guessing that the creature was floating close to shore and the tide, which has been pretty considerable over the past few days, picked it up and threw it inland into the mangrove.
That fucking far?
Yeah.
That seems a little weird. Maybe it's aliens. Maybe an alien came and was like, let's fuck with these people. If they really wanted to fuck with us, they should drop a whale like in the middle of Tokyo or something.
Yeah, like in the middle of
that'd be weird.
Downtown Manhattan, just like Times Square, whale drops.
Boom.
But what's interesting
is I found a whale in this alley.
Well, like to your point, when you start thinking about, possible ideas, if it, wasn't just something normal like being washed ashore, you start thinking like, how does a whale just drop out of the sky seemingly into the middle of the Amazon jungle? And you start thinking about these other phenomena of animals being dropped from the sky, like raining fish. I think there's some other creatures that have been, just fallen from the sky, mysterious. I can only think of the fish example, where fish have like rained down and you can like pick up fish.
That's really fucking happened.
It's real. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how does that happen?
Well, the fish somehow get put into the sky.
Wait,
and rain down.
Wait, what?
Yeah. This is a real phenomenon.
Fish go in the sky.
Yes.
I'm going to
look it up. There's a video of it actually. Of fish, raining fish. Yeah. They're like
raining fish.
So after it rains, they go to an area where there's no water normally and they find a bunch of fish on the ground. How else does the fish get there if it's not being rained down? Fish rain. Yeah. It's a phenomena.
Oh my God.
Mind blown. Yeah. It's a real thing. I think it's happened a couple different times actually. So you start thinking about like, is it possible that somehow this whale got, I don't know, picked up by a...
Oh, this is from an Irish fish farm in the bay and they flew over due to high waves. Wait, what the hell?
There's a couple different examples. I mean, I don't know which example you're looking at.
Oh my gosh, this one is like people are literally picking up fish out of the ground.
Yeah, there's fish on the ground and stuff.
But that's not coming out of the fucking sky.
Yeah. There's other examples too. That's like we can do a whole episode about fucking rain phenomena. And when we talk about weather, we'll do like a weather modification episode and we'll talk about the weather phenomena with
there have been reports
animals
of
being
raining frogs and raining fish dating back to ancient civilizations. Mm-hmm. Of course, it doesn't rain frog or fish in the sense that it rains water. Huh. Well, we'll have to explore that because that sounds a little weird to me. I don't know if I believe the fish came out of the sky.
So maybe the whale rained down from the sky.
Huh. Interesting theory.
I don't know. How else does it get fucking thrown into the jungle?
How far was
50 feet? I mean, that's not that far.
But that must have been a big wave. You think the community would be like, oh yeah, but there was this big fucking wave that could explain it.
I don't know.
But no.
It's weird, man. There's weird things happening.
Wouldn't they find like crazy shit out there all the time? Wouldn't there be crabs and fish and all kinds of stuff if it could throw a whale?
Right.
Did they have this big
whale, nevertheless.
storm?
Well, they said the tide was like bigger over the past couple of days than I think normally, but I don't know. It's really bizarre. But the last story I wanted to mention, and really subtopic, is the Israeli moon lander is carrying a vast backup of human knowledge just in case civilization collapses. So this has been a theme that we've talked about a bunch over probably the whole time we've been doing the show, but this idea of some type of civilization collapse, apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, doomsday. And as scary as it sounds, I hate to say this because I'm not I'm an optimistic person, but I think something big is going to happen in our lifetime, because it's very interesting to me that a bunch of different different countries, just this week, Warren Buffett, a billionaire, actually said that he believes strongly that something major is going to happen, and he thinks it's going to be something geological or some type of natural disaster. So that's the thing is like, I'm not talking about necessarily like freaking like nuclear bombs going off and that type of sort of massive event. I'm talking more about something naturally happening, whether it's a cause of climate change or whether it's just some random event that occurs.
So why does Warren Buffett,
right?
Why does he know that? Especially if a natural weather.
He believes
can't
that.
Predict that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And he like it. I saw a bunch of news articles. Like it was a big deal because he was saying this.
So I don't know if everyone knows who he is. By the way,
he's
there
like
was a
heavily
long time
involved.
Where I thought he was Jimmy Buffett. I thought Jimmy Buffett and Warren Buffett were the same fucking dude.
Oh my god! You know what? I think I did too, honestly, because I just was. When you're younger, you think everybody with the same last name is like related.
So I always thought the dude that like had the Margaritavilles, like the cheeseburger in paradise thing. I always thought he was loaded as fuck. I was like, God, this guy's so rich, and this is what he does with his money: is makes these like sick restaurants all over the country and Jamaica. We went to one in Jamaica.
Yeah, it's true,
but it's not the same dude.
No. So Warren Buffett is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, which is a huge company.
Yeah, he like chills with Obama.
Wall
he has his own
Street.
island. He's rich as fuck.
$82.9 billion
with a B
net worth.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
when Obama like retired from presidency, he like went to his island for a while and hung out with Michelle, and there's like pictures of them all jet skiing and shit on his private island.
That's no. You're thinking of wrong. Warren Buffett's old as fuck. You're thinking about Richard Branson.
Oh my god.
You're getting it really twisted. No, Warren Buffett's an old.
You're right. I was thinking about Richard.
He's 88 years old. He's
you're right. Wow, I sucked today.
Yeah,
I should be dismissed.
I was like, wait a minute. Warren Buffett was not water skiing with Obama. He can't do that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
he's too old.
No, that's Richard Branson. I like Richard Branson.
Yeah, he owns Virgin Airways, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Warren Buffett. No, so you were thinking Richard Branson was saying something's gonna happen.
No, I knew it was Warren Buffett. I thought Obama was hanging out with Warren Buffett. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Imagine listening to these like two married couples. Like, oh my god. I feel bad for you guys.
It's all right.
Just like sitting here.
So many people relate to us though having these discussions.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the world's gonna end. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, he was talking about how there's going to be some type of geologic or natural disaster that occurs that's going to like fuck shit up. It's going to have a huge impact on the economy and the market, potential crash. And he warned about this. And what's interesting is that there's all these other stories about how all of these countries, including the US, are like sort of gearing up for something big happening, it seems, because Israel created a lander carrying a high-tech disc containing 25,000 books, a full copy of Wikipedia, very important, and information on understanding earthly languages, all told in a 30 million page tome. It's supposed to sit on the moon for billions of years, preserving humanity's knowledge and history long after we're gone.
The fuck? We should have done this so fucking long ago, honestly.
Why didn't we bring anything up with us and put it on the moon when we went the first time? Like,
you think it would? I mean, it makes sense. Like this big rock next to our big rock, go put something on it in case our rock gets fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting that they're doing this. There's all these, NASA's doing a ton of stuff.
That's so interesting.
With aliens right now. Actually, they're like ramping up the alien game as far as finding it. The chiefs at NASA are like, we are certain basically we're going to find aliens in literally years.
You guys,
couple years.
It's really mind-blowing to think about, but like shit's really going to go down in the next couple years.
Like, wake up, people.
Like it's not as crazy as it was when people would try to, back in like people who were UFO believers in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. Like now it's way different. Like there's so much proof. There's so many videos and just evidence. It's so weird.
Well, we know for 100% fact that the UFO phenomenon is real.
Yes.
And it's an actual studied thing. The government studied it. It's real. We have tons of proof that it's real. So what's going on here? And it seems to me, if I had to make a prediction, my prediction is that within 5 to 10 years, I think NASA's plan is they're going to find life, microbial life, probably nothing like crazy, but some form of life, probably on Mars, because from what I know, it looks like Mars was probably a living ecosphere at one time.
Absolutely.
There's so much proof there was water there, so clearly there was life there.
It was totally a planet. It's
lost its
funny
atmosphere.
how many people are like, oh, well, if our planet gets fucked up, we'll just move to Mars.
There's no atmosphere. We'd have to build extensive infrastructure.
We came to Earth chances are it's looking that way, that we came to Earth as like a second option, that Mars wasn't working enough, or maybe both planets were active with,
that's what
and then Mars merged, or maybe they all died. I don't know.
Or it was just a totally different race or species on Mars at one time. It could be. It wasn't even human.
Definitely could be. But whatever was there totally got wiped out by nuclear. I mean, there's many NASA scientists and just scientists in general who have studied this and say there's so much.
Well, they examined the soil. I think they found radiation in the soil and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did.
There's evidence of some type of radioactivity on Mars.
And not to mention how they found more and more. They keep finding more water, and how they steamed the soil and found so much water just in the soil.
And then the lake they found just this last year.
The underground lake.
The ice, it's really crazy. So I think some big things are going to happen. And,
life's
so many people are,
it's like a movie, like buckle in, y'all.
Well, think about the people that were born in like the 1930s or 1910, living through like crazy ass World War or the Cold War even.
Oh my God, yeah.
Remember, like people living during Cold War times had fallout shelters, like thought the world was going to end at any point.
Yeah.
Like what are the chances we go like 200 years or 100 years with just like peace and harmony and everything being, happy
no, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So buckle up, y'all, because it's going to get crazy. But let's go ahead and get into today's main topic, Yuba County 5. But before we do, I want to quickly thank our sponsors for today. Our first sponsor today is Mint Mobile. There are a lot of things in life that aren't right. Carpet and showers, eating dip with your fingers, chunky style milk, paying too much for your phone bill now.
Chunky style?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? What the fuck? I like my milk chunky. Chunky style.
That's funny.
Ew.
But thanks to Mint Mobile, you don't have to overpay for wireless anymore. With Mint Mobile, you can cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. They've reimagined wireless, making it easy and online only, which means they can pass significant savings directly to you. Mint Mobile makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to $15 a month. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. You can keep your old number along with all your existing contacts. With Mint Mobile, you choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes of 4G LTE data and stop paying for the unlimited data that you'll never use. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/milehigher. That's mintmobile.com/milehigher. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month and get free shipping on your Mint Mobile plan at mintmobile.com/milehigher. This is great. For those of you starting out in life, don't have a lot of money for your phone bill, don't want to go with a huge carrier and pay their rates, Mint Mobile is where it's at. Wish I would have had that when I was first starting out. Our second sponsor is Stamps.com. I want to thank them for their continued support of the show. No one really has the time to go to the post office. You're busy. Who's got time for all that traffic, parking, lugging all your mail and packages? It's a real hassle. That's why you need Stamps.com, one of the most popular time-saving tools for small businesses. Stamps.com eliminates trips to the post office and saves you money with discounts that you can't even get at the post office. Stamps.com brings all the amazing services of the U.S. Postal Service right to your computer. Whether you're a small office sending invoices, an online seller shipping out products, or even a warehouse sending thousands of packages a day, Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just hand it to your mail carrier or drop it in a mailbox. It's that simple. With Stamps.com, you get 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail. Not to mention it's a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving you time and money. It's no wonder over 700,000 small businesses already use Stamps.com. Right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Mile Higher. That's Stamps.com and enter the code Mile Higher. Very nice to have. I hate going to the post office. Like, it is just such a pain. There's always a line out the door. I don't know about you guys, but Every post office I've ever been to, there's always a line. It's slow. Now you can avoid all that. Do it all online. Do it at home. Schedule a pickup, and you're good to go. All right. The Yuba County 5.
It's so funny. While you were doing that, someone texted me. I always get random text messages, and they're always so funny. Since I changed my number, someone said, I can be home tonight if you want to do dinner. I always have like creepy men texting my phone, and so I fuck with them. I said, okay, what are we eating? I'm waiting for a response.
Ooh.
I might have a hot date tonight, Josh.
That's awesome. I should hide in the closet and scare
It's a 360 number. 360. What area code is that?
That's not even I don't think that's a Colorado area code.
It's not.
Oh my God. All right. Sorry, guys. Back on track.
Washington.
Oh my God.
Someone in Washington wants to do dinner with me tonight. Oh, he said, whatever you cook.
Oh, what a sexist asshole.
Seriously.
Expects you to cook.
I should say that.
What if it's a woman, though? How do you know it's not a woman asking a man?
Oh, that's true. I assume since I'm a woman, that he would be a man.
I mean, typically.
Whatever you cook. I should be like making meatloaf. Just kidding. All right, go ahead.
Oh my God.
I need to think of a response.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's get into the bizarre story of the Yuba County 5, the missing boys. So on a cold February night, 1978, a group of 5 young men from Yuba City, California, disappeared mysteriously into Plumas National Forest one night while driving back to their homes in Northern California. 4 of the 5 young men were eventually found dead, while one, Gary Mathias, has never been found. First things that jumped out to me about this story is one, the obviously similarities that you'll see with the Outlive Past, but the others is people disappearing into the National Forest. It just takes me back to the episode we did on Missing 411, David Paulides' work on the missing persons, the number of missing persons or people that disappear in national forests, national parks. So it's very interesting to me. It makes me think about that. But basically, this case of these 5 young men has remained just mysterious for like the past 40 plus years that it's been open. This is still an open case, by the way. And the sheriff at the time was Jack Beecham. And he described this time that this was happening as bizarre as hell. And it never wandered far from the people that were involved. People were always thinking about it. So at this particular time, a Northern California drought broke hard in February 1978, blanketing rural areas of the states in sheets of snow. As if Yuba County residents needed another reason to stay inside, radios and TVs were spewing real-life crime drama. First with filmmaker Roman Polanski's escape to France in the face of an impending statutory rape sentencing, and then when a murder suspect named Ted Bundy, what do you know, was arrested in Florida after twice escaping from Colorado authorities.
That motherfucker. So
there was a lot of shit happening at this time, and so as you would think that this would have been a bigger story than it was. And
exactly. That's what's weird about it.
I think it's because it kind of got overshadowed by Ted Bundy, and then later on the East Area Rapist, or you know who we're talking about. So
the Golden State Killer, for those of you who don't, same person.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the 5 men that disappeared that night. So in a case that makes little sense, one aspect seems logical. Of course, Jack Madruga, Ted Ware, Bill Sterling, and Jack Hewitt would have spent their last Friday night together. The 4 young men had been friends for years, since meeting through Gateway Projects, a now defunct Yuba City organization for adults with special needs. So it's kind of the main, I don't know how to, it's not theme, but one of the main aspects of this case is the fact that these 5 young men, in some way, shape, or form, were either mentally challenged, had some sort of mental disability, but not to the point that they couldn't, function and do normal things. They had jobs.
High functioning.
Yeah. And in my eyes, and the more I read about these guys, the more I think some of them might have been possibly autistic, because like back then they didn't know that much about autism.
I don't know if they knew anything about it back then.
Yeah.
I remember when my cousin was diagnosed, which was like 20 years ago now. It was like, I remember it was pretty new-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought too.
Yeah. Like they're still changing the spectrum all the time and the qualifications and trying to understand it better. But I'm sure the mental health, their screenings or whatever, were not that great.
No. Well, they would just be like, they're slow.
Yeah.
People would always say he's slow.
Or they would have used the R word, back then.
Right. Yeah. I hate that word.
Yeah. But I mean, back then people just said
they would say that because that's just what called it what it
word,
is. Yeah. Kind of, So these guys all had, some type of mental disability, or some people just be like they lack common sense, like, which to me sounds just like they lack kind of social cues and things like that. Like, they're very, I don't know. Yeah. They were, but anyways, these four guys were inseparable. They would pal around together. They'd go everywhere together. They were described as the kind of the studs in their community, the special needs folks. That's a quote from the sheriff at the time. They were athletic, very well liked, very well respected, and law enforcement had no issues with them. They were nice to kids and just overall nice people. So Theodore, or Ted Ware, was a 32-year-old man. He loved making new friends but lacked basic common sense, his brother Dallas said. He once spent $100 on pencils for no particular reason and would question instructions as simple as stopping at a stop sign. When his parents... Okay. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Like he would wonder why he would have to stop. And
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This does sound a lot like autism.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought too. So, and when his parents' house in the town of Linda caught fire, he stayed in bed while watching the ceiling over him burn and told his brother to leave him alone because he needed to rest for the work the next day.
Huh.
One of his brothers ended up dragging him from the burning home. So yeah, lacking common sense, clearly. I mean, what would you even call that? Because I feel like somebody, could be.
I don't know. I definitely can't diagnose someone.
Yeah, no. His brother said he'd wake up in the middle of the night and say, "How come Mickey Mantle can hit the ball farther than me?" So just like random things like that. Interesting. Huh. So this is Ted Ware. Now, Jackie Hewitt was a 24-year-old man who was the most severely handicapped of the five. He couldn't read, write, or dial a telephone and depended highly on his mother and Ware, whom he had known for about 8 years. Shy with a speech impediment, he didn't particularly like being away from home for extended periods of time, certainly not overnight. So at the time, they were saying that his IQ was like as low as the 40s.
Just got coffee on my face. Who even does that?
How the hell did you do that?
I seriously don't know.
Like
only I would do that. I'm gonna blend it in as highlighter.
So So Hewitt is the most mentally handicapped of the bunch. Now, William Sterling, who was 29, had left the house the night he vanished with his $15 weekly allowance and maps of California, Sacramento, Stockton, and San Francisco. He worked at Beale Air Force Base as a dishwasher in the early 70s, but his mother made him quit after discovering airmen routinely got him drunk to steal his money.
Oh.
So these poor guys.
Too trusting.
Yeah, too trusting, exactly. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people with autism are very trusting and can be easily persuaded because they can't tell social cues as easily. So they can't really pick up if someone's trying to con them. They believe that someone's genuine. Everything someone says is genuine.
Yeah.
They take things for face value. Some of them. I mean, like I said again, I'm not an expert, just from my experience with my own family.
Right. No, that's a great point because that's really, really kind of the overarching thing here that makes you wonder about what happened to him.
Yeah. Could they be the type to get taken advantage of?
Exactly. So the Sterlings, the family had a cabin in the Bucks Lake or near Bucks Lake in the Plumas National Forest, and he often went fishing as a teenager, but his parents said that William never really wanted to go into the forest or go stay at the cabin and often skipped out on the retreats, which is important when we start thinking about the fact that they disappear in the national forest that he did not want to go. He never went to. Now, Jack Madruga was 30 years old. He worked as a dishwasher at dried fruit company Sunsweet Growers and helped Sterling land a job there, though he was later fired for being unable to use new dishwashing equipment. Family members told investigators Madruga was not mentally retarded in the common sense of retardation, merely slow in his thought processes. This is a quote, by the way. He could manage his own finances and had an unremarkable service as an Army truck driver from 1966 to 1968. He and Mathias were the only two of the group with driver's license. That's another interesting thing. So Jack Madruga and Gary Mathias are kind of definitely the least leaders. Mentally challenged.
Okay.
And kind of the leaders of the group, right? And the only ones that had driver's license. Now, Gary Mathias was 25 years old and was different from the rest. He had been a singer in the local band and played football at Marysville High School in the late 1960s. He was employed part-time as an assistant gardener at a landscaping business owned by his stepfather, Bob Clough. Gary was also receiving disability pay from the U.S. Army, as he had also served in the Army, but received a psychiatric discharge after facing drug problems and mental health concerns which had developed when he was overseas. He was actually released from the military when he was 20 years old and put on drugs to treat paranoid schizophrenia.
Okay.
Which is a very serious mental illness and will be something that you'll want to remember as we get into this a little bit more.
He probably had bad PTSD.
Yeah. Well, he also did a ton of drugs too. Like just different types of drugs.
Okay. So so in the Army, did he do anything combative? Could he have gotten like PTSD or something?
He could have. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
He was pretty normal. Like he was.
How long was he in the military before he was discharged?
Let's see. He was released at 20. So he was probably there for 2 years. Yeah. I think it was like 2 years he was in the military.
Okay. So he may or may not have actually gone to combat. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, it's hard to say.
He was overseas. So he may
okay.
I don't know for sure if he actually saw combat or not.
Okay.
But
interesting.
But he's considered to be the most highly functioning, except for times of high stress when his cognitive functioning would quickly deteriorate. So yeah, it's very possible that he had PTSD.
Right.
And they
just diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia.
Right.
Back then.
Which would be something that they would do, right?
Yeah.
So the night of the disappearance, which was February 24th, 1978, started out with no known conflict between the boys, only happiness. Elated from watching their favorite college basketball team, UC Davis, secure a road win over Chico State, the boys strolled into Bears Market, a convenience store in Chico, just before 10 p.m. to load up on snacks for the ride home. Sounds like something they would do.
Yeah.
Sounds like something
typical
like teenage boys would do.
Yeah.
I would do that. That was like the thing to do, like in high school and stuff, like roll to the gas station and like get some snacks.
Oh, yeah. Me and my friends like love to drive around.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, we'll go to this gas station, but let's go to one like way far.
Yeah, exactly. So these guys loved basketball. This was something they did in their program. They actually played on a team. And so they were huge basketball fans, and that's why they went to this college basketball game. And after they left the convenience store, that was actually the last time that they were seen alive. Ted Ware's mother woke up afraid at 5 a.m. the next morning. She immediately called Bill Sterling's mother, who had been up since 10 or 2 a.m. and had already spoken to the Hewitts.
I wonder if she just if Ted's mom just had like a feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
just woke up afraid.
I mean, I guess they figured they'd be back late, but it's interesting that they like did not notice they were gone earlier. And what's so interesting and weird about these stories from years ago is that they didn't have cell phones. Mm-hmm. Like you wonder if things like this would happen in today's time.
They can.
They do happen.
But it's less likely because there would have been the whole element of all of their cell phones. If all 5 of them had a cell phone, a smartphone nowadays, we'd have a lot more better chance of finding them.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot more could be done.
At this time, you had to go to a payphone.
Yeah. And think about they could have possibly called for help as well.
Right.
Which prevents a lot of situations as well.
Especially getting stranded somewhere.
So as much as we all harp on technology and we're all like, oh, we all stare at our phones. Yeah, we do. We suck. But phones are really fucking nice. And in times like this, they can save a life.
It does. Yeah. And totally. It saves lives all the time.
Technology saves lives all the time. Think of all the lives we would lose if we hadn't had cell phones the last 10 years.
It's very true. It's very true. So Sterling's parents had tried to talk the boys out of going to Chico that night. They told investigators the boys had a Special Olympics basketball game the next day in Rockland through the Gateway with a chance to meet All in the Family actress Sally Struthers.
I'm pretty sure to be in Special Olympics, you have to have a pretty clear diagnosis. So I wonder if a lot of their like details on their mental health has been kept secret by the families or kept private, because I don't think you can just be on it if you're like a little slow. Yeah. You know, you have to have some type of diagnosis, right?
Well, I think it was just different then. I think mental health back then was just a lot different. Yeah, but what they like, because then it's not fair to the other players. Right. I mean, I think it was probably enough that they were like, okay, like clearly something is up.
Yeah, like I said, a diagnosis that Or I guess back then they could have just been like, oh yeah, he's a retard.
But that's the weird thing about it is like the parents, they've went and asked the parents, and the parents have always downplayed the disabilities.
Okay.
So well, it's
I guess
weird.
People's like understanding of mental health and disabilities was just garbage back then.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they'd put everyone in the bucket of retard or whatever.
Yeah. That's exactly what they did. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So strange.
So his parents had actually tried to keep them from going because they wanted to make sure that they were gonna, be ready for the next day. Like you wouldn't
basketball game tomorrow.
Yeah. And some of them actually like
Josh doesn't even know what that is.
No, I know what you're saying. that meme
right by me.
No, I know what you're talking about. I forget the what was that?
Remember the kid?
Oh yeah.
Like, I got my basketball game tomorrow. Jenna Marbles used to say that all the time.
Yeah, that's funny. So they went to this game clearly counting on coming home and going to the game the next day is my point. But with the parents trying to keep them, the boys drove off anyway, and the weekend came and went without their return. On February 28th, a U.S. Forest Service worker found Madruga's 1967 turquoise and white Mercury Montego at the Plumas National Forest snow line while marking timber. Nearly all the snacks from Bear's Market had been eaten.
Interesting.
And the car had a quarter tank of gas and started right up when hotwired.
Wow.
So it's like, did they get stuck? Why did they stop there?
Yeah, and where are they?
Right. The few roads snaking into Plumas National Forest are rough and bumpy, mostly frequented by loggers, trucks these days, and rescue vehicles used during the search incurred moderate damage. So this is not just like a normal road that you would just drive down to get somewhere. This is like you would purposely have to go there because you know where it leads, and clearly these boys didn't know where it leads, and they stopped, they stopped on this road for whatever reason. Yet the Montego, which is a heavy car, even before 5 grown men climbed inside, barely had any scratches on its undercarriage when found, leading investigators to believe that whoever was driving knew the road well enough to navigate cleanly in the dark.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, that is.
And the only person that could have been driving would have been Madruga because he wouldn't let anyone else drive that car. But again,
Can we call them by their first names? Who's Madruga?
Well, they're often called by their last names.
I know, but
Jack.
This is
Jack
annoying.
Madruga.
Jack. Okay.
So Madruga wouldn't let anyone else drive the car, and like we said, they hated the cold and camping, so why were they in the middle of the forest?
Yeah.
Investigators spent more than 3 months sifting through snow, chasing dozens of false leads. They actually consulted a psychic who told them she saw bodies in green canvas bags. A body witcher was brought in, and his magic rod pointed them to an empty cabin, but no clues. Finally, investigators received a tip from a 55-year-old man named Joseph Shones, who discussed that he had taken a trip the night of February 24th, which is the night the boys went missing. Joseph said that at around 5:30 p.m. that night, he drove out to see the conditions of the road because he wanted to bring his wife and daughter up that weekend. He said that his car ended up getting stuck in the snow, and when he was trying to get unstuck, he had a heart attack and wasn't able to continue getting the snow. So my guess is that this road had a ton of snow on it, and this guy got stuck. So perhaps the men got stuck, or whoever's driving the car at that time got stuck too, and that's why. But it's like, if they got stuck, they got 5 people. You can push yourself out. So it doesn't really explain that. And wouldn't they all
still be in the car? Even if they did get stuck, where would they have gone?
Yeah, exactly. Why would they abandon the car?
And they didn't say the car was clearly stuck. They said the car was like in a parking lot, right?
No, it's on the road.
Well, okay, but
not a parking lot.
Okay. So I guess that doesn't really matter.
It was just on a road, this road heading into the forest.
I wonder if it looked at all, if like it could have been stuck there. I guess you can't really tell because it could have melted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was like that. If it was really stuck, they would have noted that in, the investigation or the reports, but I don't think it was really stuck even. But this guy was stuck, Jack Shones. And he ended up getting back into his car and turned on the heat and ended up staying in the car the rest of the night. The crazy thing is all this happened within 150 feet of where Jack's car was found. Joseph says that at one point in the night at around 11 p.m., he heard whistling noises from close by on the road. He said that he got out of his car so he could ask for help, and that's when he saw what he believes was a group of 5 men and a lady holding a baby walking in front of 2 vehicles, one of them being a pickup truck. Joseph said he kept calling out for help, but the voices eventually went quiet and lights of the trucks left. So what's interesting is that this was sort of initial claims, but later on he sort of changed his story and said he fell asleep in the car when he was awoken by sounds of talking and a flashlight shining in his vehicle. So it's interesting because clearly he was having a heart attack, and when you have a heart attack, it's possible to hallucinate, possible to have
interesting. I didn't know that.
To see things and not that aren't really there. But it's interesting because he was only 150 feet away from the boy's car. So could he have seen what he saw? And the whole idea of him possibly seeing a woman with a baby is interesting. Were they potentially trying to help somebody and something happened? It's very interesting.
That is strange.
But he said that his car ran out of gas in the early morning hours before the sun had come up, and he got out of his car and started walking back to the lodge where he was staying, which was 8 miles away from where his car was. He said that while he was walking down the hill, he saw an empty turquoise and white Mercury Montego just sitting in the middle of the road. Later on, doctors were able to actually confirm through an EKG test that Joseph did indeed suffer a heart attack that night. And aside from Joseph's tip, there were a few other leads that came in along with some false sightings of the men in like other states and things like that. The main lead that came in was from a woman who claimed she had seen a red pickup truck carrying 5 men. She says that she saw the group of men outside of Mary's Country Store in Brownsville, which is a neighboring city about an hour drive away, at around 2 p.m. on the same day as the boys' planned basketball game. The store owner says that she also remembers selling some food to a group of men. However, looking at the details, they think that it was just mistaken identity, so this lead really didn't pan out. So basically, there's little to no leads as to what happened exactly and where did they go at this point. So
strange. It is just like Dyatlov.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to that. It's like there's this strange scene of why did they leave this area? This was like a safe area. The car had gas. They could have at least stayed in the car and run the car until help came
Yeah, and you would do that.
And honestly, all 5 of them in a small, it's a big car, but in a car together would have probably generated enough body heat to at least like survive overnight in the car.
Probably 5 of them. Yeah, probably.
And what's also very just bizarre about this is they didn't like leave with any jackets or heavy winter clothing or any sort of equipment that would indicate that
because they were going to the basketball game. They weren't
and then coming home
for that. Huh.
And instead they got snacks, and instead of going home, they ended up in this on this road into the forest.
That is so wild.
It's bizarre. So at this point, there's no signs of the men. The local, state, and federal law enforcement agents spent more than 6,000 combined hours looking for the young men. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
And this is right around the time dogs, horses, helicopters, and snowcats all turn up nothing but dead ends.
Because they must figure like we've got to find at least one of their bodies.
Yeah,
like there's got to be one of them out there.
And how far could you go in those conditions outside?
Right.
And that's what's so bizarre about it is all of this searching turned up nothing.
Nothing.
The sheriff was like, I was up there one day and the only way I could get out was with a compass. And that's just indicating like how crazy the weather was. Like that winter was really bad. There was tons of snow drifts.
Oh, wow.
15-foot snow drifts. So it's possible that they didn't find them because they were buried under snow, possibly at that time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Unless they were still alive, which is also possible. We don't know. Well, we do know, but
you don't know yet.
You don't know yet. But it's very interesting.
Until after the break.
It's very interesting. But before we talk about the discovery of the men, just want to do our last sponsor, which is Upstart. Applying for a loan is a lot like applying for a job that you don't get to interview for. Instead, loan companies make their decisions based off your credit score and history without getting to know the whole you. Now, thanks to Upstart.com, it never has to be that way again. Upstart is revolutionizing the way you borrow money by rewarding you for your job experience and education in the form of a smarter interest rate, which is awesome for those of you, especially those of you starting out with little to no credit or bad credit. You know, it's great to be able to have the ability to get a loan for, credit card debt or something you made, some upcoming purchase. and not have to worry about being judged solely off your credit. And they take into consideration the work and education, which is super helpful and would have helped me out a lot a few years ago. Unlike traditional credit underwriting, which can be biased against people with a short credit history, Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when accessing or assessing your credit worthiness. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in less than 2 minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part, once your loan is approved, the funds will be transferred to you the very next business day. Over 100,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their wedding, or to make a large purchase. Free yourself from the burden of high interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/milehigher to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes 2 minutes and it won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/milehigher. Okay, so these guys are missing. Nobody knows where they are until they are discovered. So a small group of motorcyclists were out for a Sunday ride. Sunday ride came upon a very foul-smelling U.S. Forest Service work site near the Daniels Inc. campground about 3 miles southwest of Bucks Lake and 19.4 miles from Madruga's abandoned Montego. So in this patch of forest, the site held a 60-foot trailer with a broken window someone had shattered to gain access to it.
Wow.
So in a lot of these forests, like they have these trailers set up for when things are going on up there for like U.S. Forest Service. Like we've seen them before when we're out in the mountains. You'll just see like random little cabins or trailers out there in the forest where usually nobody's at. It's usually empty. Recovery teams spent half a day clearing 5 huge trees from the roadway before reaching the trailer. Among its noteworthy contents, empty cans of food, extra clothing, wood furniture, paperback books, and Ted Ware's body.
Oh my gosh.
The sheriff said that when you got up in the area, you could smell the death. It was horrible, the stench.
Ugh.
Ware was the one whose brother said he lacked common sense, was found under 8 layers of sheets on a bed inside the trailer with his hands on his chest. Both pant legs were rolled up above his knees, revealing apparent blood poisoning and gangrene.
Oh.
As well as 5 toes lost to frostbite. Horrible death.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Blood poisoning. So how do you get blood poisoning from this?
I don't know.
Blood poisoning.
And he had gangrene. I don't know. How do you get gangrene?
Gangrene's from like freezing your... Right?
No, that's frostbite. Look up what's gangrene.
Oh, gangrene's something that like the soldiers would get. I think maybe it's just an infection. Like it's just dirty.
I think it's like an actual...
It's a condition that occurs when the body tissue dies.
Yeah.
Okay. It can be caused by loss of blood supply due to an underlying illness or injury or infection. You can lose fingers, toes, and limbs.
Wow.
So yeah, it looks like nasty when it happens. Look at that. Dude.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we'll spare you guys the pictures.
Just look
Google
up
gangrene.
God, that's...
Or don't.
That's heinous, man.
Throw up. That's disgusting.
Forensic analysis of his beard growth indicated he survived 4 to 6 weeks after going missing, during which time he shed 80 to 100 pounds from his 5'11", 200-pound frame.
That's a lot.
He must have looked so crazy, like just like bony, frail.
Mm-hmm.
They also found a brown leather wallet, a ring inscribed with the word Ted, and a bead necklace lay on the bedside table. There was also a yellow metal watch that Ware's family said didn't belong to him.
What the fuck?
So where did he get that? Which he could have just had that on him from somebody that his parents didn't know about, but that is kind of weird.
Or he could have just had it. I mean,
but this is what's so fucking crazy is that there was 31 cans of food from an outside storage locker, which had been opened and emptied with no conclusive fingerprints on them. Another locker that would have had enough meals to last all 5 men an entire year was unopened.
Whoa.
And then a propane tank outside the trailer could have provided gas and heat, but was also untouched.
Wow. What? Oh my gosh.
So I mean, obviously when you think about this, you would think a normal person in these circumstances would have go look for food, turn on the propane tank so that you could easily heat up the place, and then they would have been
But they said he lacked common sense.
Right.
But like even in a
But even in that situation,
death or life or death situation, really?
Why would you just like lay down and die? Kind of like,
maybe
I feel like
he didn't know that he could. Maybe he just didn't know you could use propane to make fire. I don't know.
But then he was able to get cans of food open. 31. So what happened from the point he got there and started eating food? If he indeed ate the food there, ate the food there until the time that he actually dies. Like, what the hell? He had food.
Super weird.
So unless he just got super cold because he couldn't get the heat going, and he was under 8 layers of sheets too. Like, this isn't Antarctica. You're inside a trailer. You have 8 layers of sheets. Like, I feel like that might be enough to like at least keep you there. But I guess for weeks, he was there possibly 6 weeks in there.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
That is just wild.
What's also interesting is that evidence showed a candle had been recently lit. Burnable wood and paper were found throughout the trailer, but no evidence indicated a fire had been started despite Ware's cause of death being ruled as exposure pulmonary edema, often called wet lung.
Oh, so like
that's the cause of death.
So like kind of like bad pneumonia, really bad pneumonia.
Yeah, I guess from being inside that thing with no heat.
Oh, he didn't even have a can opener. The food had been pried open with an Army P-38. Oh, yeah, it is a can opener. It is a can opener,
but it's like an Army. It's like a small sickle-shaped device.
It was a government thing
that only Jack and Gary Mathias knew how to use because they were in the Army or associated with the Army.
Okay.
What's also weird is that Gary Mathias' sneakers were inside the trailer and Ware's sturdier leather shoes were gone, which led investigators to believe that Mathias had been inside the trailer long enough to swap footwear, which this sounds exactly like fucking Dyatlov Pass too, where they like took the shoes from the other person.
Oh, right.
Because they were found without them. But this is just interesting because it's like, if Gary was there too, why weren't the other boys in there with them too? Why isn't there evidence of all of them being in that trailer? Why did it seems Gary went in there because he swapped footwear, unless he swapped before, but it's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that is so weird. I am so confused right now. Like how they even, okay, this doesn't make any sense. So then they found Jack and who's Sterling? I hate the last name thing. Do you remember their names? Sterling?
Yeah.
What's his name? I'm looking
William.
right now. William. Okay.
William,
so they then find Jack and William.
2 days later, 8 miles closer to the car on opposite sides of a mountain road leading to the trailer. Unfortunately, there was nothing left of William but bones scattered across the forest floor. Jack's body had been picked apart by animals and dragged to a nearby stream, car keys still in his pants pocket.
Ooh, interesting. Weird. God, I wonder if it happened like really soon.
Yeah, well, it's like something must have happened though. Because how? I mean,
only 2 of them knew how to drive, right?
Yeah, only 2 of them had licenses and would have been able to drive at all.
Huh. So if something happened to the ones that were able to drive, the others would be stranded there.
Right.
Unless but he had his keys on him.
But the car was stopped in one spot, never moved from that spot.
So weird.
So it's like, what happened? How did 2 of them end up at the trailer while the other 2 seemingly died from the elements outside, and then were, eaten by animals essentially? I don't know. It's really bizarre. And the Yuba County coroner identified Jack's cause of death as hypothermia exposure, but they couldn't determine what happened to Sterling because Sterling was
William
was completely torn apart.
Wow.
Jack Hewitt's father, also named Jack, ignored investigators' pleas not to join them on the recovery mission once bodies started turning up. On June 8th, he spotted his son's jacket not far from the trailer. When the elder Hewitt picked it up, Jack's spine fell out.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So he died in it.
Yeah.
So it probably came up because his arms were, that grosses me out.
He was like torn apart, like something.
Oh my God.
I mean, you can succumb to the elements, but that's not going to automatically mean you get torn apart.
Yeah, no.
Unless something tears you apart, likely some type of animal or something.
Well, that's what a lot of people with Dyatlov Pass, it seems like the majority of our audience, unless you had some other theory, a lot of people believed that it was basically a huge animal attack, which, I mean, we could poke holes in that too. But interesting. So would an animal fuck someone up this bad?
Yeah, it could.
I guess.
Especially, well, if you think about it for a minute, like, if it's been, I mean, we're talking from the time that they went missing to the time that their bodies started being found was literally like 100 days. So weeks and weeks and weeks of being potentially dead in the forest. And in any forest, there's animals and you know,
and pick you apart.
Ugh. So it's possible that it was just a bunch of animals over time.
Yeah.
Eating them, gross. Unfortunately.
Okay. So where is Gary?
So hang on. They were able to identify the spine because they found his teeth.
Oh, we have to
50
talk
feet
about
away.
The spine. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's how they knew it was him. But it was his jacket, so obviously it'd be his spine.
Right. But it was 50 feet away. The teeth were 50 feet away. He was literally spread out across a large area.
Oh, my God. That's so creepy.
Which is,
That's so creepy.
Something happened. So investigators have 4 of the 5 bodies, but now it's up to finding Gary Mathias's body. But after 2 weeks with little progress made, investigators called off the search on June 19, 1978, leaving his emotionally battered family without the closure they craved. So it's very interesting that they find no signs really of Gary other than the shoes in the trailer. 1 year after the boys went missing, a letter to the editor titled "Still One Missing, Still a Reward" ran in the Marysville Appeal Democrat, co-written by the families of Mathias, Sterling, Hewitt, and Ware. The letter alternately mourns the dead, accuses law enforcement of not doing enough to find them in time, and wonders what took the boys up that perilous mountain road. I mean, the biggest thing for me is, like, how did they not find them? Like, they spent hours.
Yeah, that's really wild.
How did they not find them at all? Like, they had dogs, they had everything. It looks like they tried everything to find them.
So
why weren't they found?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess if they were really covered in snow.
I guess.
But wouldn't dogs still?
Yeah.
I believe the dogs can smell almost better. It depends on how much snow's on top of them. But because water makes scent molecules like open or something, it like makes them more
potent.
Potent's the word.
Yeah.
To dogs.
The scent is more potent.
Yeah. So like after it rains
right.
in a crime scene, they can smell better. So you'd think under a bunch of frozen water, which is what snow is, they could still smell, if not better.
Yeah. And not only that, why couldn't the dogs trace the scent from the car to wherever they went?
Yeah. And it's not like they were all in one spot either. They were like, I mean, one guy was strewn throughout his whole body. So the chances of just missing them goes down.
If they were already dead. But it's possible they were even all still alive at this point. But where the hell were they if they were?
What if they were in the trailer?
They would have checked the trailer. They would have known.
Do we know that they checked the trailer before?
No, I mean, we don't know for sure.
I feel like maybe they missed that they were in the trailer. Maybe they just figured they weren't in there.
But there would be evidence of them going to the trailer. They would have seen footprints. It was snowing. So there would be footprints. But some
could
evidence.
Have snowed on top of it and covered the footprints.
It's true.
You think they would confirm though that? Do you think that the detail would come out that like whether or not they checked the trailer before?
I'm sure they did if they did 6,000 hours. I'm sure they did.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what makes it so weird is unless there was a huge oopsie done by law enforcement and they just straight up missed where they were hiding out in for the time not being discovered. But I mean, here the weird thing about it is, yes, they were mentally challenged, but even in that case, if they did get to the trailer, why didn't they start a fire? Like at least 2 of them, Gary.
Yeah. Come on. At least one of them would have done something.
Would have known how to survive. If this was under normal circumstances, just they got stranded and they wandered into the woods to find shelter. If it was that scenario that actually happened,
why would you go into the woods? That? I mean, the bottom line is even if they did get stuck, they chose to leave their car.
Right.
They didn't know that there was shelter. They didn't know that there was this government thing.
No.
So why, we have to remember they did have mental challenges. So maybe they didn't have common sense. But Gary had.
Right.
most of his mental cognitive abilities.
Yeah, he was actually like in the military doing stuff. Like he was.
So why would you lead a group of people into the woods for shelter or for help? Like that doesn't make sense. Going away, like you must know that farther away from the road, the lesser chance you're going to have help. Why wouldn't they start going down the road?
Yeah.
Or stay there and wave down a car? Like most people would just stay there and wait till, someone's got to come maybe in the next week.
Well, the other guy was 150 feet. If they had stayed in the car, they would have seen this guy's car 150 feet away. You would have seen his lights, get out, walk down to him, help him, get in his car, drive to help. Like, there's so many scenarios that could have played out where they would have survived, even if they had just randomly gotten lost and went down this road.
So it really doesn't seem like they just randomly decided to go here, got lost, and then got out. Like that just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, the conclusion you come to, any rational person, including the sheriff at the time, is like, this is not just like
this is something like
event.
Malicious.
Something, foul play has got to be involved here in some way.
Well, obviously you look right at Gary because he is the most cognitively he's functioning.
He's never fucking found.
Yeah.
Where the hell's Gary Mathias?
Yeah, he's gone.
So that's the biggest. That's perhaps one of the biggest mysteries. Where is this guy? Why was he never found? Why were the rest found but not him? Where'd he go?
Maybe he could have led them into the forest. So wait, he could drive and Jack could drive, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so when we don't know if Jack was the one driving the vehicle.
Jack was driving his car.
Well, Gary could have driven his car.
No, he would have never let anybody drive. He was like, I have to drive my car.
Okay.
He was that kind of person.
Stuck on it.
His parents were like, that's what he would do.
He drove them there.
Yes.
So then that doesn't make a lot of sense either.
Right.
Why would he voluntarily, unless he was like, hey guys,
unless there's a plan.
Cool
yeah.
But why would you want to kill all your friends?
Yeah.
This was like his only friends. Weird.
But listen, let's talk about Gary Mathias for a minute, because he's a very interesting individual, and really an outlier among the rest of these guys. The others' intellectual disabilities became clear in their younger years. Sterling had spent most of his time in Napa State Hospital, also called Napa Insane Asylum. But Mathias was first placed in a psychiatric ward as a sophomore in high school following a bad hallucinogenic trip. He consistently used drugs throughout his service in the U.S. Army in the early 1970s, which included a sharpshooting medal, which is interesting, an AWOL arrest, and a medical discharge for paranoid schizophrenia.
Interesting. So
he was clearly into drugs. He did clearly what sounds like psychedelic drugs to me, and from a young age.
Yeah,
that could have evolved into other harder drugs, possibly.
It can give you permanent,
it's proven that psychedelic drugs used
too young
can alter the brain chemistry, could potentially cause neurological problems later.
Believe it. I've seen it, actually.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that he also got an AWOL arrest. So he wasn't like a stand-up guy. He definitely had a past, and it actually had an extensive rap sheet with many questionable offenses over the years. So definitely not the most, stand-up, trustworthy individual, which is interesting, even though this guy was friends with them. Here's what's interesting. Following a 1978 interview with Mathias's longtime acquaintance, Janet Enzera, Yuba County Sergeant James Black wrote that Mathias had repeatedly told Enzera of a dream where he and several other people would disappear. Enzera called Mathias a very violent person, hurting several men seriously, and said that he also hates women.
Wow.
He did some really questionable shit to women where he hold them down and
oh my God,
assault them essentially. So he's definitely got problems, and
sketchy.
This paranoid schizophrenia could be a legitimate diagnosis, or it could just be kind of an excuse for the Army to discharge him too. Like they could have just been like, he's a bad dude. He's gotten arrested for deserting his men. So he's definitely not trustworthy. And the other boys' parents weren't comfortable with Gary Mathias either, even though they didn't seem to know about his criminal record, the sheriff said. He was a stronger personality, the only one among them who would fight back if threatened. Of the 5 missing boys, the case file said he would be the most likely to lead and suggest places to go or things to do. Boom. Gary is the leader. Gary could have possibly either created a malicious plan to disappear with these guys, like he had this dream of that he told this woman about. But it seems like if it was anybody's idea to drive randomly into the Plumas National Forest, it would have been Gary's. So, what happened to the missing men? Let's talk about the theories. Obviously, theory number one is Gary Mathias did it. No one pulled a trigger on the boys, but something or someone killed them. So Dallas Ware recalled, one of the family members of the missing boys, recalled that a hit 90s television series, Unsolved Mysteries, sought the involved family's permission to do an episode on the missing time sometime after their disappearance. Every family agreed except for the Mathiases, despite him still being missing. Also, Mathias' surviving siblings declined to comment or could not be reached by media. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
So their missing brother is gone. Gary, he's missing. They don't want any sort of publicity on him. They don't want to comment on his disappearance.
That's weird.
It's very fishy, which makes you wonder, could he be alive and just in hiding or something, and the family's covering up for it?
Well, yeah.
He said he wanted to disappear with people repeatedly to this person, to a friend.
Who would say that? That's so strange.
Isn't it? Which makes me think maybe he did have schizophrenia. And if you have schizophrenia, don't you like have this voice that speaks to you oftentimes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is it possible he had some type of schizophrenic episode where he decided that he was going to make these guys disappear for whatever reason? Maybe the voice told him or something.
Weird.
And he disappeared with them somehow. But it's like, where did he go and how did he survive?
Yeah, you would have
the
seen
elements
him somewhere for sure.
Unless he was in some other. There was also like other trailers. There's also other probably cabins and things like that. Maybe he knew where to go exactly. It could have been a completely planned out thing.
That's strange.
I mean, this is what the authorities think. This is what the sheriff thinks. He thinks if we find Gary Mathias or we find out what happens to them, we will solve this case as to what happened to the four other men.
But it's been what, 41 years?
41 years and still no signs of Gary as far as we know.
Wow. That's so strange.
Isn't it? It's like, what the hell?
That's super interesting.
So this is kind of interesting, but some family members believe that the person that killed these men was a town bully or someone who's trying to mess with them and perhaps chase them up the mountain until they got lost. There's a Reddit post from someone claiming to be close with Jackie's brother. They claimed that there were details that were never published to the public. This person said, being very close to Jackie Hewitt's brother, I have a lot of information about the story that is not in the articles, which people go on Reddit and say stuff all the time. A lot of people do this, and we can't like verify them on Reddit.
But I mean,
it's interesting.
It definitely could be her really related.
So this person said, I can give you this. When the parents say they think the men were forced up that road or taken, they believe it. They believe foul play was a factor.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. First, I want to tell you something that's fact. Jackie Hewitt would not have left the car or willingly agreed to go up that mountain or go up that night to the mountains. He was home every night.
Okay, so Jackie, I was confused. His name's Jack.
Jackie, yeah, same.
They called him Jackie.
Right.
Okay.
Second, as for the food in the forest trailer, these men didn't like to touch things that didn't belong to them in the first place. And the kind of men they wouldn't have broken locks or lockers without feeling bad and would have avoided taking what wasn't for them to take.
Well, okay.
But I think if
you're about to die, like things change.
Yeah, I think
you may not worry about being nice.
Instinct kicks in and you're like, I got to survive. I'll do whatever.
I see her point, but yeah.
Yeah. Which I would be like, I don't think a mental thing would keep you from doing that. Do you?
No, just be like, I'd rather die than like borrow someone's food. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Plus someone went in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's saying that potentially whoever was involved in this foul play was in the trailer and put them in there or something. But they also went on to say what is not mentioned is baby clothes, blankets were in the car and shell casings were found outside near the car. This info may have been kept quiet at the time in hopes a true lead follows, which I haven't seen any official reports that said that there was casings. And like I said earlier, the sheriff said no one was shot as far as they know. But
interesting.
If there's just bones, how would you know if someone was shot?
And baby clothes and blankets. That makes you wonder about that one guy's statement.
Right. I think that's kind of what they're trying to allude to, is potentially an idea is maybe Gary wasn't like involved and he was just with them, and they decided to help somebody. They saw this woman potentially with a baby in need, possibly being taken by these men or a man or something. And
But she was used as a decoy or something?
No, or just this was a legitimate thing that happened that was legitimately in trouble, and they followed them in their car. They saw something happen, an altercation, perhaps at the marketplace or maybe at the game or something like that, and they decided to follow them. I guess it would have to be at the gas station or whatever, because why would they go to the gas station if they saw something happen at the game, before following this individual?
On earth, this is so weird.
Isn't it?
Okay.
Wow. So perhaps a very angry ex-boyfriend bully who wanted payback for the breakup. And she said, or this person said, these are all parts of the story that are not talked about. Why drive all the way up there in the first place, and how? If someone chased them, why was the car undamaged? What were the whistling noises and voices Joseph Shones, the other guy, heard on the road? It doesn't add up.
What the hell? No, it doesn't at all. This is super strange. God.
Isn't it? God. I keep saying isn't it, but
there's some force that made them go up there. Jack's mom says they wouldn't have fled off into the woods like that. A bunch of quail. What does that mean? Is that like a saying?
Like quail, like just like run aimlessly into the forest. She was comparing them to like a bunch of quail running.
Yeah, why would they exactly
just scatter out of the car,
leave from the road and go to? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't matter who you are.
We know good and well that somebody made them do it. Yeah, we can't visualize someone getting the upper hand on those 5 men, but we know that it must have been. Wow. Well, it does make you think of Gary again, because if a lot of them, they definitely could have had this trustingness, and who better to commit a crime on someone than someone that it's the easiest way to do it.
I think the
fact that
biggest
he said
evidence,
he wanted to disappear is like,
that's weird, and the fact that he hasn't been found and they found everybody else, that's just bizarre to me.
But like, where would he go?
Well, that's the thing, is
and
like,
how do you get him out without that doesn't make any sense. But a lot of time went by. Oh, that is weird. This one's really bothering me.
Yeah,
How
it's gonna bother you for a while, because it's just so bizarre.
Fucking strange.
So they believe that investigators believe that like the day before the men went missing, the Forest Service was actually like clearing snow off the trailer roof so it wouldn't collapse. And police believe that it's possible that the group decided to follow the tracks that it left through snow drifts 4 to 6 feet high. So huge snow drifts.
Yeah.
Believing that shelter may be not that far away. And William and Jack succumbed to hypothermia midway along the walk. But it's like, still, they wouldn't think to like see if they can turn on heat. Like, I don't know. I would love to ask their parents, like, you really think your sons wouldn't know to turn on the heat because they're cold? Like,
well, I guess they would know better than us.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
That is so weird. I honestly have no really good guesses. It's so strange. It definitely, it seems like foul play for sure. But what exactly happened?
Yeah.
And why were they all in different places? Oh, I feel so badly for them.
Seems like they got taken advantage of.
But if they were taken out there by someone, you think one of them could have escaped and like ran back out to the road or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of them did escape, fell and died, and that's how his spine.
But who would have killed them?
Gary.
Oh, you're talking about Gary?
I'm thinking like if he had them all, like how would he have kept 5 people with him? How do you kidnap 5 other men your own size
and how do you kill
keep
them
all?
And how do you kill them nevertheless? Like, because
it seems like they were killed by
together?
Natural things, though. It didn't seem like any of them were killed by anything human.
Yeah, that's what's so bizarre about it. It's like if you were planning to disappear with them, unless they were willing to follow Gary to like the end, a fault, and Gary was literally like, "Come on, guys, let's go," and then he ended up they ended up dropping because they were getting hypothermia.
Yeah.
And they just left him, because that's kind of one of the theories too, is that it's possible that they even found the trailer altogether, even though I feel like there'd be more signs of the others if they had found the trailer. And since it was locked, they may have believed that was private property and feared arrest for theft if they used anything that was found there. So ultimately they broke the window and went inside, and maybe Gary was in there with the other guy. Oh, fuck, I'm forgetting the name that was in there. Jack. Sorry. Jack that was in there, because Jack was also like the most mentally competent. What if Gary told the other 3 guys, you guys go look for help, and not knowing where they were because the weather was so crazy?
Why would Gary send his friends knowing that they have problems?
Because he was. I'm talking from the perspective that Gary, as a murderer, wanted them to die, wanted them to disappear, to fulfill something.
Weird.
It's very weird, but weirder things have happened.
I don't know.
Hang on, let me finish my thought. Sorry, I've been thinking really hard about this.
All right, let us know what you're thinking really hard on.
And this makes a lot of sense to me if Gary was wanting them to disappear. So Gary's kind of the ringleader. He leads them. He's like, hey, we're stuck here. I know of a place. He could have, for all we know, Gary could have went out there, scouted it out prior, knew exactly where to stop, where it'd be far enough that they could walk to it, and knew that it was there, knew it was abandoned. He makes them drive to the spot because he wants them to disappear. He says, okay, we're stuck. We can't go anywhere. We'll run out of gas and then we'll freeze. And they all believe him, say, okay, what do we got to do? He's like, I think I may know of a shelter that's not that far away. Let's go, guys. So they all get out of the car. They follow Gary because Gary's the most competent one, and they follow him. So they follow him all the way to the trailer, and they just got, Gary already knows that there's stuff inside the trailer to survive. And so instead of, I'm sure the guys were like probably freaking out, knowing like somebody like we know, somebody that's autistic would probably be like, we can't break in. That's breaking the law. They think like that.
Yeah, they're very about rules. Black and white. Yeah.
So he kind of maybe he tells them at that point, okay, then, well, I got to get Jack inside. Jack is going down with hypothermia. He tells the rest of them, why don't you guys go find help? He tells the rest of the 3 men to just go that way or something.
Well,
tells them to wander.
Jack.
Full knowing that they're never going to find the car. They're far enough away from anybody that they'll never run into anybody, and they'll essentially just get hypothermia and succumb to the elements. Then Gary breaks a window, brings Jack inside, puts Jack down on the bed, and full knowing that Jack doesn't have that much time left, or maybe he does know he has that much time left, but he's too weak to do anything. He puts him on the bed, and then Gary gets the food, eats the food, but then literally just forces Gary to starve to death.
Jack.
Jack to starve to death. Gary loads up with some food, leaves the trailer, never to be seen again, and probably wanders either, for all we know, he could have wandered to a car, gotten a ride, and disappeared, and we never would have known. Or he went to some abandoned cabin. For all we know, Gary could be either laying somewhere, died from the elements in the middle of the forest, gone, or he made it to some other type of shed, building, or cabin or something. There's all kinds of like little places like that scattered throughout the mountains. Like, look at Ted Bundy. He found an abandoned cabin, stayed in it. So maybe that's what happened. And then somehow Gary just disappeared. Or I think it's also plausible that he died out there as well, possibly somewhere after he did all of this that I just said. But to me, that makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense.
Especially if you think about who these men were being mentally challenged, you could definitely believe that they would do that. Let's go over real fast
what happened to William, Ted, and I forget the name of the last one. Like, what happened to their bodies exactly? One was found spread out across.
Yeah. The other was not that far away. They were all outside.
They were all just out on the ground. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, then that would really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't one missing their eyes too, just like die out?
No, I thought I saw that. I can't remember if that was... I think I was just reading Diallo Pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they were clearly torn apart by animals or something.
But what if Gary really didn't do anything and he's being blamed for this? I mean, it's kind of easy to blame him.
And he died out there and we just haven't found his remains yet. But the parents and
his
sketchiness
parents would come to his defense. Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they be trying to do everything to spread?
Because they probably think he could have done this.
Well, he had a long rap sheet. He said these things.
How could he get away that easily?
People have done weirder things, man. Who knows? I mean, who knows what he did? For all we know,
I just don't understand why you have to take 5 other people down with you. Even if, like, it's not like he was a serial killer and just wanted to kill. Like, they died naturally.
He could have had a psychotic
people
episode.
to die?
He clearly had probably voices talking to him, telling him to do things. Yeah. He did other violent things before.
Yeah. I'm doing a video like right after this about a guy that I think had a psychotic break and he thought
all the time.
His Uber app was controlling him. His Uber app turned into the devil.
Example. Yeah. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility for
could have just been
a psychotic breakdown to cause him to just go off the wall. Because I mean, the other theories that are out there is like, it was either all coincidences, all just happened randomly, and they just happened to drive there after the game. Come on. Really? These boys had a game the next day. They were going to be playing. They were so excited about it. Why the hell would they go venture up this deserted mountain road in horrible weather?
And then you had the whole, like, the baby thing and the baby clothes. How fucking strange.
And then if that was real, that throws another wrench in it. It could have been just completely random. But why would they go up there unless they were either following somebody or somebody took them up there?
It could be something like that. Yeah. Because, like, I know that that's not far out, that people have done that before, have used a woman, and a baby to, like,
serial killer or something.
Trick somebody. Right? Yeah.
Could have been a serial killer.
If it was a serial killer, chances are most serial killers want to enjoy killing. There's a reason they want to kill. They would torture them or or do something sexual to them or something weird like that, to just, like, let them all go off into the woods and die. I mean, you wouldn't even get to see it as the serial killer to see them die. And that's what they would want. So it doesn't seem like a serial killer to me.
No. And the coroner proved that Jack was, like, alive inside the trailer for weeks, and his beard had grown out.
Oh,
and that's how they were able to tell that he was alive, because your beard wouldn't, like, continue to grow.
Can your beard
for
grow
weeks.
after you die?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. No.
So it was long enough that it looked like 4 to 6 weeks of growth, which would only happen if he was alive. Maybe he was barely hanging on for weeks. I mean, it's weird.
That is so weird. I have no idea.
Or was it aliens?
I don't know. That's
people always want to throw that out
likely,
there. I don't know why. There's no indication that there was even any type of extraterrestrial activity.
Doesn't seem extraterrestrial. Weird.
Or what? Could have been a cryptid, a Sasquatch. I mean, a lot of people believe it. A lot of people think believe there's evidence to support that there's some type of.
I would believe it if maybe they were all attacked, but, like, they.
I mean, they were pulled apart.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. This one's just so bizarre. And I mean, it's still an open case, which is crazy 40 years some later. So if any of you out there have a crime tip or know something, maybe, I mean, who knows? You can actually contact the Yuba County Sheriff's Office through the link in the description, or at the phone number 530-749-7777. Wow.
If you've got a tip. This is
what a
Unsolved.
Trip. What year did this happen again?
1978.
Interesting.
So years ago, and it's still unsolved. The sheriff said he still keeps him up at night. I mean, I can only imagine if I was actually investigating this, like, what the hell happened?
Hasn't it be longer than, 78? Isn't it like 50 years?
No, 50 years. That'd be like 20, 30.
Oh, just kidding.
2020 something. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I'm not so good at math.
So super interesting.
Yeah. That is mind blowing. I really don't have
final thoughts. What do you think?
I mean,
what do you think happened?
Guess is that it's Gary. It seems like
he's somehow involved.
Could have done it. If there was one of them that could have done it, it would be him.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they haven't found him, I don't know. But then you could also think if he was in there for a really long time, he could have just been alone. They all had died, and he was just the most common sense. So he survived, least likely to die. So maybe he was surviving, and he eventually thought he could. Maybe the weather was decent enough one day that he thought he could just walk out, and he just left on foot.
And he's like miles away from that area that they've never searched.
But
and
you would think there would be a lot more evidence of, like, food and shit. And, like, the fact there would be more, like, evidence of the trailer being lived in if someone was in it for that long living, right? Like, wouldn't you have gone to the bathroom somewhere? Where
there was a candle that was lit.
Yeah. So, okay. So, like, did he go to the bathroom? Was there a bathroom in this trailer?
Yeah. But I mean, again, there was huge snowdrift. So, like, by the time all the snow melted, they probably weren't there, like, watching the scene till the snow melted to see what was there. And by that time, all that water as it melts would just like would clear any signs of
even shit.
Yeah, I think so.
What? I don't know. This is so weird. It doesn't seem like it was like lived in that long.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird.
Well, I guess all those cans, no one would eat them all at once. I don't know, man. What a trip.
Well, the other set of cans were in another shed, just completely untouched.
Yeah. That's strange.
So it seems to me like Jack was brought there and left to die, in my opinion, by somebody, probably Gary. And then Gary took off. Maybe because he thought he would be in trouble, but where did he go? Yeah, where would he go? I don't know. People disappear all the time, though, that probably have less knowledge and experience than Gary does.
God, that is strange. Well,
I think a series of unfortunate events happen, of mysterious circumstances happen that led to this mystery.
Yeah.
Completely crazy.
A complete mystery. Crazy. Complete mystery. How strange.
But we'll wrap it up there today, guys. Let us know what you guys think of this. I really want to see. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or tweet us and let us know what you guys think or what your theory was. Do you believe what I proposed, that Gary was kind of the mastermind behind this, or was there some other person or other mysterious creature or something that was responsible for these men going missing? But yeah, truly mind-blowing story. If you guys enjoyed today's episode and you love the new studio, hit that thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. We really appreciate that as well. But that is it for us today. Thank you guys for listening to the Mile Higher Podcast. Stay safe.
And stay woke.
We will see you guys next time.